bus journey to the hostel in Tokyo was about an hour or so. I can't quite remember how long it was, just because I was so excited. I was filming a lot of things en route as we were getting further and further into the city. I spotted Disneyland Japan, which is massive and very, very garish. Unfortunately, I only managed to shoot a tiny bit of it. But yeah, it looked interesting. I also noticed how very white the urban landscape of Tokyo is. A lot of the skyscrapers, when we were first entering it, just seemed to be white and more white. The rest of the volunteers were also really excited. There was this aura of eagerness and excitement. So once we got to the hostel, we were given a few moments to kind of put our stuff down, kind of have a brief rest, and pretty soon afterwards we were out again on the streets of Tokyo. When I first got to the hostel, it was my first chance to see the panorama of Tokyo, and I was absolutely astounded. The city just seems to stretch on forever and ever. It goes right up to the horizon. It truly embodies the meaning of the word metropolis. Our Latitude host, Tomoko, took us to a really nice shrine, which is very close to where our hostel was. It was a Shinto shrine. Shinto is one of the two kind of major religions here, the other one being Buddhism. After we went to the Shinto shrine, we were taken for a quite nice meal at a restaurant. It was kind of a buffet style thing. At this point you could tell some of the initial excitement had worn off, and some of the jet lag had set in, especially for some of the other volunteers who all kind of gotten on a separate flight from me. They'd flown from Heathrow, whereas I'd flown from Manchester. So consequently, I imagine they might not have gotten as much sleep as I did. The food was delicious. It was a great first experience of Japanese cuisine. I can't remember exactly what we ate. I just remember trying everything and loving it all. But yeah, the meal was a really good way to kind of get to know a lot of the volunteers better as well. It was kind of a great opportunity to kind of chat, and also I think the host was biding time for our orientation at the hostel as well. We finished the meal quite a while before we set off back to the hostel, in which we had an orientation from the hostel owner, who is a lovely old gentleman with white hair with a kind of shocking tint of blue. We were all kind of given keys to our kind of dorms, which are kind of 4 to a dorm, bunk beds, keys like these massively big plastic chunky efforts. He said if we lost one, the price to replace them would be, I think it was 100,000 yen, which sounds like a lot, but somewhere around 100 quid basically. Ridiculous, but there you go. After that orientation, we were pretty much allowed to do whatever we wanted. Tomoko was kind enough to show us to the local train station. Our hostel was right on top of the train station. It was called Iidabashi. Now I'm just going to try and find it on the Tokyo Metro map here. It's here. Now, Iidabashi, I guess by looking at the map, is kind of in the centre of Tokyo, but that doesn't really say much. Tokyo is such a big centre that it kind of goes beyond all reasoning. I decided to go to a place in Tokyo with a couple of other volunteers who weren't too jet lagged to do anything, to go to a place called Akihabara. Akihabara is basically the place you go in Tokyo for anything that's to do with technology, gadgets, electronics, anything. And I have to admit, it was a bit of a sensory overload. When we got off the train in Akihabara station, I kind of saw one big building with kind of 7 floors, massive kind of tubular escalators going up the side of the building. I thought, doesn't look too bad. That was on a side street. When I got onto the main street, and it went on for an incredibly long distance, and this incredibly long distance had shops all the way down it with just electronic gadget shops, and each one of these shops had 7 floors each. 7 floors, I kid you not. Of course the floors were varied in size, but 7 floors, and each one of these floors was just packed to the gills with electronics, and some shops were kind of more souvenir shops, others were just games, some were games arcades. It was immense.